I tested my new home alarm system and ended up in a hostage negotiation. I was standing in my living room holding a baseball bat when I heard the first siren wail down my street. My new alarm system was supposed to have a 30-second delay before alerting the monitoring company. The panel on the wall was flashing red and screaming at a pitch that made my teeth vibrate. I dropped the bat and ran to the keypad to punch in my code. My fingers hit the wrong buttons 3 times in a row because my hands were shaking. The front window lit up with flashing red and blue lights that bounced off every wall. I heard car doors slamming one after another in rapid succession outside. My phone started buzzing on the kitchen counter and I lunged for it. The screen showed 14 missed calls from a number I did not recognize. Someone pounded on my front door so hard the hinges rattled. I heard a voice boom through a megaphone telling me to exit the residence immediately. My dog started barking and running circles around my legs. I tripped over him and crashed into the coffee table, sending a lamp to the floor with a sharp crack. I crawled toward the window and peeked through the blinds at the chaos unfolding on my lawn. 3 police cruisers were parked at angles blocking my entire driveway. Officers were crouched behind their doors with weapons drawn and pointed at my house. My neighbor from across the street was standing on her porch in a bathrobe, recording everything on her phone. I watched another squad car screech to a stop at the curb and 2 more officers jumped out. The megaphone voice demanded again that I come out with my hands visible. My alarm was still screaming behind me and I could not think straight through the noise. I stumbled back to the keypad and finally entered the correct code with trembling fingers. The silence that followed felt heavier than the noise had been. I heard my own heartbeat pounding in my ears like a drum. A helicopter appeared overhead and the spotlight hit my roof with a thump of white light. I pressed my back against the wall and slid down to the floor. I figured this was all just a massive overreaction to a simple alarm test gone wrong. I assumed I could walk outside and explain that I had just installed the system yesterday. I thought I would wave my receipt at them and we would all laugh about the misunderstanding. I grabbed the installation paperwork from the kitchen drawer and held it up like a shield. Then I heard the megaphone say something that made my blood freeze solid in my veins. They said they had received a distress call from inside the residence reporting an armed intruder holding 2 people at gunpoint. I looked around my empty house and saw no one but my dog staring at me with confused eyes. I checked my phone and saw a text from my roommate saying he was at the grocery store. Then I heard another voice on the megaphone say they had visual confirmation of movement in the upstairs bedroom. I did not have a roommate who matched the description they were giving. I realized someone else was inside my house. I grabbed the baseball bat again and pressed myself flat against the wall near the staircase. I heard footsteps creaking on the floorboards directly above my head. My dog growled low in his throat and his hackles stood straight up along his spine. I heard a window slide open upstairs and then a voice screamed down at the police. The voice yelled, "Help me please." I did not recognize that voice at all. The megaphone immediately ordered me to release the hostage and surrender. I screamed back that I was not holding anyone and that someone had broken into my house. The footsteps upstairs started moving faster and I heard things crashing to the floor. My bedroom door slammed so hard the whole house shook. I realized the intruder had been hiding in my house before I even started testing the alarm. I heard glass shatter upstairs and someone screaming that I had a knife even though I was holding a bat. The police started moving closer to my front door in a tactical formation I recognized from movies. My phone rang again and this time I answered it with shaking hands pressed to my ear. A negotiator introduced himself and asked me to stay calm while they worked this out. I tried to explain that I was the homeowner and someone else was upstairs pretending to be my victim. I heard the intruder yell again that I was crazy and had been holding them for hours. The negotiator asked me to put down any weapons and walk slowly to the front door. I dropped the bat and it clattered against the hardwood floor. I raised my hands above my head and took 1 step toward the door. The person upstairs screamed louder and I heard them running toward the back of the house. Another window shattered and I heard a thud in my backyard followed by shouting. The police tackled me the second I stepped onto my porch and my face hit the concrete hard enough to chip my tooth. I tasted blood pooling against my lip while they yanked my arms behind my back. I heard them shouting that they had apprehended the suspect in the backyard trying to escape. The negotiator came over and explained that my neighbor had seen someone climb through my back window 20 minutes before I got home. The intruder had been hiding in my house when I walked in and triggered my own alarm while testing it. They had called the police themselves and pretended to be my hostage to create a distraction for their escape. The officers helped me sit up and I watched them load a stranger into the back of a cruiser. My neighbor was still filming from her porch. My dog was barking at everyone through the screen door. I sat on my own front steps with handcuff marks on my wrists and a busted lip while my brand new alarm system beeped cheerfully that all zones were now secure.